Imagine the scent of freshly cut grass, so uniform it smells like green paint. Picture a street where every mailbox stands at the identical regulation angle, a silent, beige sentinel. This isn't a movie set. This is the American suburb, ruled by an iron fist in a gardening glove. The Homeowners Association. They are the clipboard-wielding tyrants of the cul-de-sac, the neighborhood watch gone rogue. Today, we pull back the beige curtain on 50 of the most breathtakingly petty, absurd, and darkly hilarious rules ever enforced. This is the fine print on the American dream. 1. The unauthorized monument to chaos. That portable basketball hoop you bought for your kids? To the HOA board, it's not a tool for wholesome outdoor activity. It's an unauthorized, temporary monument to chaos. Many rules demand it vanish the instant playtime ends. It must be spirited away, back into the garage, hidden behind the fence, like contraband. Nothing says family-friendly community quite like banishing the very sight of children's play equipment. The sound of a bouncing ball is, to them, the sound of property values plummeting. The message is clear. Your children's joy is acceptable, but only if it can be completely disassembled and hidden by 5 p.m. 2. The Transparent Backboard Decree. This is a true masterpiece of arbitrary control. Some rules don't just regulate the existence of a basketball hoop. They regulate its appearance down to the most granular, pointless detail. In these communities, a standard white or decorated backboard is forbidden. It must be clear, transparent acrylic. Why? There is no logical reason. It offers no safety benefit. It has no material impact on property values. It is the ultimate crystalline expression of power. A rule so spectacularly pointless that its only purpose is to remind you that they can make a rule about absolutely anything. It is the architectural equivalent of a king demanding you bow. 3. The swing set submission process. You can't just buy a swing set. That would be anarchy. First, the specific model must be cross-referenced against a pre-approved list. Don't see yours? You must submit the manufacturer's spec sheet to the Architectural Review Committee. Next, its placement must be diagrammed to scale on a plot map of your property and submitted for a 30-day review. Finally, it often must be assembled not by you, a mere parent, but by a licensed and insured professional whose credentials must also be submitted for review. They have successfully transformed a classic weekend family project into a logistical gauntlet that costs twice as much and takes 10 times longer. 4. The Playground Palette Police. It's not just the swing set's existence that requires municipal-level planning. It's the color. Many HOAs now dictate the precise color palette of your children's outdoor play equipment. Bright primary colors, reds, yellows, blues, are often deemed visually loud or garish. Instead, homeowners are strongly encouraged to choose equipment in approved earth tones. We're talking muted beiges, boring browns, and depressing swamp-like greens. The goal is clear: to make your children's designated fun zone blend into the background so effectively that it becomes almost invisible. Fun, it seems, should be camouflaged. 5. The Sidewalk Chalk Standoff. That colorful, spiraling hopscotch court your 7-year-old drew on the pavement? To the HOA board, this isn't childhood expression. This is unlicensed public art. This is graffiti. This is defacing common property. You will receive an official-sounding notice written with the grim seriousness of a cease and desist letter, demanding the immediate removal of the offending artwork. They will turn a $5 bucket of washable chalk into a source of bitter neighborhood controversy. It's a policy that seems specifically engineered to hunt down and extinguish any spontaneous spark of fun, ensuring that no child's laughter ever echoes too loudly. 6. The pre-approved chalk palette. This takes the sidewalk chalk ban to a whole new level of dystopian insanity. One HOA, in a misguided attempt at a compromise, didn't ban chalk outright. Instead, they issued a list of approved chalk colors. Kids were allowed to draw, but only using a palette of muted, earthy tones, beiges, grays, and dull greens, that match the neighborhood's official architectural color scheme. Bright, cheerful primary colors were still considered a violation. They managed to find a way to regulate a child's imagination. This isn't just control. It's art direction for a childhood they want painted in 50 shades of taupe. 7. The waiting pool war. That small plastic kiddie pool you set up on a 100-degree day? According to the rule book, that is an unapproved temporary structure, and temporary structures are the enemy. The rule often states it must be emptied and stored out of sight every single night. This isn't just for safety. It's because the sight of a blue plastic tub on the grass for more than a few hours is an aesthetic violation. This results in a maddening daily ritual of draining and refilling, all to appease a rule written by someone who has clearly never had to entertain a hot, cranky, and damp toddler for an entire afternoon. 8. The Garage Door Inquisition. In the suburban enclaves governed by HOAs, your garage door is not a convenience. It is a potential breach of aesthetic security. The rule is simple and absolute. The door must remain sealed shut unless a vehicle is actively passing through the threshold. Think about that. Unloading a trunk full of groceries? You're on the clock. A bead of sweat forms as you race against an imaginary stopwatch. Want to let a breeze in while you tinker at your workbench? Request denied. The stated purpose is always curb appeal, a nebulous term that really means preventing anyone from witnessing the unspeakable horror of your tool collection. 9. The window covering conformity. This is where the HOA's gaze pierces through the glass and into your private life. To maintain a uniform exterior appearance, many associations decree that all window coverings visible from the street must be a neutral color. Usually this means white or off-white. It doesn't matter if your interior design is a vibrant, personal, colorful expression of your soul. From the outside, you will present as a blank, soulless, beige void, or you will be fined. Your home, your sanctuary. Their choice of curtains. It's the architectural equivalent of a school uniform, and you're about to get a detention for expressing yourself. 10. The unapproved screen door. A screen door seems like a universally good thing. It lets a cool breeze in and keeps the bugs out. But in the eyes of the HOA, a screen door is a breach of uniformity. Many associations ban them. Why? Because a full-view screen door, mostly glass, lets people glimpse the interior of your front door, which might be a non-approved color. And a full-screen door just looks different from the solid, sealed facade of every other house. They prefer a seamless row of identical, solid doors, as if every house were a hermetically sealed exhibit in a suburban museum of conformity. 11. The Front Door Color Committee. Your front door is the face of your home, the first hello. Want to paint it a cheerful red? A stately navy blue? That might be too bold for the committee. Many HOAs have a very limited, pre-approved list of colors for front doors, and it's almost always an inspiring palette of 50 shades of white, beige, or black. They want to ensure that the very first impression your home makes is as bland, anonymous, and interchangeable as possible. Personality is a liability. Conformity is the goal. Your front door isn't a welcome, it's a compliance checkpoint. 12. The Shutter Charade. This rule isn't about restricting you. It's about forcing you to participate in an architectural lie. Many bylaws mandate that houses must have decorative shutters, but not real working functional shutters that could, shut. No, they mandate the cheap plastic rectangles screwed directly into the siding next to the window. They are often sized so comically small they clearly wouldn't cover the window anyway. You can be fined for not having purely cosmetic, structurally dishonest, and functionally useless decorations attached to your house. It's mandatory fakery. 13. The House Number Font Police. This is the pinnacle of pointless precision. In an emergency, you want your house to be found quickly by paramedics or the fire department. But the HOA is often less concerned with legibility and more concerned with typography. You can and will be fined because your house numbers are in a crisp, clear, modern Arial font, when the bylaws explicitly mandate a slightly less clear, but historically appropriate, Times New Roman. In a life-or-death situation, you can only hope the ambulance driver isn't also a graphic design critic. Your life may depend on their appreciation of serifs. 14. The Great Mailbox Monopoly. Your mailbox, a loyal servant, finally meets its end at the bumper of a distracted delivery driver. A simple $50 fix at the hardware store, right? Not so fast. In an HOA, you cannot just buy a new mailbox. You must purchase the one, Board-approved official model. This model is, of course, available only from a single, pre-approved vendor, often at a 300% markup. It must be the exact shade of regulation black, mounted on the exact specified post, with the precise league-sanctioned red flag. Because in this neighborhood, the privilege of receiving your junk mail and credit card offers must be a uniform, high-cost, and deeply impersonal experience. 15. The Roofing Racket. It's time for a new roof, a $20,000 expense. You might think your decision would be based on factors like durability, energy efficiency, or cost. Wrong. Your decision is based on one factor and one factor only. What the HOA Architectural Committee decided was the one true roofing material back in 1998. Usually, it's a specific brand and color of asphalt shingle that may now be outdated, overpriced, or inferior to modern alternatives. You want a durable metal roof? Forbidden. You want energy-saving light-colored shingles? Not on the list. Your house, their roof. 16. The War on Physics. Over time, concrete cracks. Water freezes and expands. The ground settles. This is a basic, unavoidable fact of physics. But in the HOA's universe, physics is not an excuse. It's a violation. If a crack in your driveway exceeds a certain length or width, sometimes as small as 1/4 of an inch, you'll receive a demand to have it professionally repaired, patched, or resurfaced. This is a job that can cost thousands of dollars. It's not about safety. It's about maintaining the bizarre illusion that the entire neighborhood is a brand new movie set, where time, weather, and nature have no effect. 17. The sin of the window AC. Your central air conditioning unit breaks down. It's 98 degrees. It's humid. A repair technician can't come for a week. Your logical, desperate move is to buy a $150 window unit as a temporary fix to keep your family and pets from literally cooking. But you can't. Nearly every HOA has a strict, absolute ban on window AC units, calling them aesthetically displeasing. They would rather you suffer in a dangerously hot house for a week than tolerate the sight of a small metal box in one window for a few days. Your comfort is irrelevant. Your safety is secondary. The appearance of uniformity is all that matters. 18. The Chlorophyll Compliance Mandate. This isn't just about mowing. This is about state-mandated chlorophyll levels. Some HOAs have rules so specific about lawn health, they might as well issue official paint chips for your grass. Imagine getting a violation notice because your lawn is a vibrant, healthy lime zest when the sacred texts of the bylaws clearly demand a more somber, dark English ivy. They'll call it neighborhood harmony, but it's really a turf war where the only weapon is a violation notice, and the only winner is the landscaping company that the board president's brother-in-law happens to own. 19. The Grass Height Tightrope. This is the lawn mowing anxiety rule. The bylaws state your grass cannot be taller than 4 inches, but it also cannot be shorter than 2 inches to prevent browning. This forces you into a constant horticultural tightrope walk. Did you wait 1 day too long after a rainstorm? Violation. Did you get a little overzealous and cut it a bit too short to buy yourself time? Believe it or not, also a violation. You are expected to maintain your lawn within this 2-inch window at all times, implying a level of measurement and surveillance that is, frankly, terrifying. 20. The Vegetable Garden Segregation. You want to plant a few tomato plants in your sunny front yard flower bed. Prepare for a declaration of war. Many HOAs explicitly ban vegetable gardens from being visible from the street. Flowers that you can't eat? Beautiful. Ornamental shrubs that serve no purpose? Excellent. A vibrant, ripe red tomato that you can actually use? That is an ugly, rustic blight that must be hidden away in the backyard, if allowed at all. Your desire for a fresh summer salad is in direct conflict with their sacred vision of a perfectly useless, purely ornamental landscape. 21. The Unholy War on Weeds. You can be fined for weeds in your own flower beds. Not just the lawn. We're talking about the designated areas where you grow decorative plants. If a wandering board member, on patrol, spots a rogue dandelion or a sprig of crabgrass hiding behind your prize-winning roses, that a fine. You are expected to maintain your private flower beds with the same level of sterile perfection as a surgical theater. This is no longer gardening. a peaceful pastime of nurturing life. This is a constant, unwinnable, hand-to-hand war against nature itself. 22. The Gnomish Inquisition, that cheerful ceramic gnome you tucked beside the hydrangeas? He's not a charming garden friend. He is, according to the HOA's sacred texts, a Class A aesthetic violation. Countless communities have sweeping, absolute bans on all lawn ornaments. This isn't just about gnomes. It's about pink flamingos, reflective gazing balls, and even that tasteful little frog statue. This is a war on whimsy. Your personal sense of humor, expressed through cast resin figures, is seen as a direct threat to the meticulously curated, joy-free landscape they are trying to build. Your gnome is a fugitive in his own backyard. 23. The bird feeder ban. You decide to put up a simple bird feeder, hoping to enjoy the sight of a few finches or cardinals while you drink your morning coffee. To the HOA, you have not invited nature. You have just opened an unlicensed soup kitchen for nuisance animals. They'll warn you that feeders attract squirrels, rats, and other vermin. Soon, you'll get a formal violation notice for encouraging wildlife to exist in your vicinity. Who knew that a handful of sunflower seeds could make you a neighborhood outlaw? It's a bizarre hostility to the very nature they claim to cherish with their lawn rules. 24. The invisibility of the garden hose. It's a simple tool. You use it to water the very lawn they so heavily regulate. But once you're done, that hose must vanish. Leaving it coiled neatly by the spigot is a violation. It must be stored in an approved, lidded container, or wound onto a board-approved hose reel, often hidden from view. The mere sight of a green rubber tube is considered a visual disruption. They demand a perfect, lush, green lawn, but they want to erase any and all evidence of the actual work it takes to maintain it. The ideal is a perfect world with no tools, no labor, and no humanity. 25. The orphan tree you never wanted. This is a beautiful piece of bureaucratic gotcha. In many planned communities, the city or the developer plants street trees in that little strip of grass between the sidewalk and the street. It's called a tree lawn. Technically, that land is often part of your property. So, years later, when that tree gets sick or its roots start buckling the public sidewalk, the HOA will happily inform you that it is your financial responsibility to call an arborist or pay thousands to repair the concrete. You didn't choose the tree, you didn't plant it, but you are now on the hook for all of its very expensive problems. 26. The tyranny of the trash timetable. Taking out the trash is no longer a simple chore. It is a bi-weekly stealth operation with a launch window tighter than a NASA mission. The rules are precise. Bins may be deployed to the curb no earlier than 6 p.m. the night before pickup. They must then be retrieved and secured out of sight by 6 p.m. on pickup day. Miss that window by an hour? That's a penalty flag, a warning, a fine. It's a solution in search of a problem, all designed to protect the delicate sensibilities of the neighborhood from the traumatic, 24-hour-a-day sight of an empty plastic bin. 27. The internal trash can mandate. This is a fan favorite and the perfect sequel to the trash timetable. Your trash cans must be stored inside your garage, not on the side of the house, not neatly hidden behind a lattice screen. Inside. This sounds simple until you realize it means you are now storing smelly, garbage, juice-leaking bins in the same enclosed space as your $40,000 car. It means that on a 90-degree summer day, your garage becomes a walk-in, par-baked refuse sauna. It's a rule that prioritizes what your neighbor doesn't see over what you are forced to live with and smell. 28. The for sale sign paradox. The irony here is delicious. You finally had enough of the rule book, the fines and the passive-aggressive newsletters. You're selling. You're getting out. But you can't escape that fast. You are forbidden from using your own realtor's standard professional for sale sign. Instead, you must purchase and display the official HOA-approved for sale sign, complete with its mandated fonts, color scheme, and anemic dimensions. They will literally micromanage the very sign you are using to advertise your desperate attempt to get away from being micromanaged. 29. The for rent sign suppression. This rule is a masterclass in passive-aggressive control. HOAs often can't legally stop you from renting out your property. though many are trying. But what they can do is make it nearly impossible to advertise. By completely banning for rent signs, they force you to rely solely on online listings, crippling your ability to attract local interest from someone just driving through the neighborhood. It's their subtle, quiet way of discouraging renters and maintaining a specific owner-occupied character without ever having to say the quiet part out loud. 30. The political sign expiration date. Your First Amendment right to free speech is welcome here, but only for a limited time. Most HOAs have rules that permit political signs, but only within a strict, non-negotiable window. Typically, signs may go up no more than 30 days before an election, and they must be removed within 24 hours after the polls close. Your civic enthusiasm is on a timer, and God help you if your sign is 1 inch larger than the 18 by 24 inch maximum specified in the bylaws. Your political passion has been rendered a zoning issue. 31. The Un-American flag rules. This is a tricky one for them. The Federal Freedom to Display the American Flag Act of 2005 protects your right to fly the flag. HOAs hate this. Since they can't ban it, they regulate it to within an inch of its life. They can't ban the flag, but they can dictate the maximum size of the flag, no garrisons, the exact type and height of the flagpole, no 20-footers, and where it can be placed. Even more absurdly, some have rules against illuminating the flag at night, forcing you into a technical violation of the U.S. Flag Code. 32. The Beware of Dog exception. This rule is a beautiful little piece of accidental poetry. An HOA bylaw might state, no posting of signs of any kind on property, but then it includes a single exception. Except for beware of dog signs. Think about what this says. You can't post a no soliciting sign. You can't put up a sign for your kid's lemonade stand. In a neighborhood obsessed with a friendly, safe appearance, the only personal expression they've officially carved out an exception for is one that warns everyone. I own something that is prepared to bite you. 33. The surveillance of your surveillance. You install a Ring or Nest doorbell for your own security. Then you get a notice. The HOA has a rule stating that any personal security camera must not infringe on a neighbor's reasonable expectation of privacy. This vague, ominous language gives them the power to tell you to reposition or remove your camera if a neighbor complains that it can see a tiny, pixelated sliver of their front porch. The very device you bought to monitor your property is now being monitored by your neighbors and the board. It's a beautiful, snake-eating-its-own-tail loop of suburban paranoia. 34. The Windchime Suppression. That gentle, melodic tinkling you find soothing on a summer evening? At least one member of the HOA board hears that as a full-scale, percussive assault. Many communities ban wind chimes outright, treating them like rogue sirens or unauthorized musical performances. The argument is always noise pollution, placing the gentle clink of bamboo in the same category as a rave. Apparently, in a neighborhood this tightly controlled, even the breeze itself must submit to a code of silence. Your desire for a Zen-like atmosphere has been officially classified as a public disturbance. 35. The Barbecue Curfew. This one sounds almost reasonable at first, until you absorb the sheer audacity. The rule might state that all outdoor grilling must cease by 8 p.m. The stated reason? To prevent the lingering odor of cooked food from wafting into a neighbor's open window. Your fundamental human right to have a late-night summer barbecue has just been reclassified as a form of atmospheric pollution. They are policing the air between your houses. Your desire for a slightly charred hot dog is now a public nuisance. This isn't about community. It's about controlling the sensory experiences of others. 36. The lightbulb's Kelvin rating. If policing smell wasn't enough, welcome to the policing of light. We're not talking about a flashing colored party bulb. We're talking about the specific shade of white emanating from your porch light. The rules will specify, in writing, that all exterior bulbs must be warm white, often under 3000 Kelvin. If you dare to install a brighter, cool white LED, perhaps so you can, see, you are disrupting the neighborhood's carefully curated amber glow. This implies someone is literally walking around at night, judging the precise scientific properties of your light. 37. The pet weight in ritual. Your dog's right to exist here will be judged by the pound. Many associations have a strict, arbitrary weight limit for pets, usually around 40 pounds. This creates the ridiculous scenario where your sweet, lazy 41-pound bulldog is a forbidden beast, while your neighbor's hyper-anxious, perpetually yapping 39-pound terrier is a model citizen. This has led to the humiliating ritual of the pet weigh-in, where a dog's future in the community literally hangs in the balance on a bathroom scale in the property manager's office. It's Sophie's choice, but for your golden retriever mix. 38. The Great Satellite Dish Standoff. This is a quiet, suburban battle of wills between your HOA and the federal government. A 1996 FCC rule, the Over-the-Air Reception Devices, or OTARD rule, actually protects your right to install a satellite dish or antenna. The HOAs know they can't legally ban them outright, so they do the next best thing. They make it as difficult as humanly possible. They'll try to dictate that it can only be installed on one specific, invisible corner of your roof, facing the wrong direction, and painted a custom color that doesn't exist. They are effectively daring you to hire a lawyer over your right to watch HBO. 39. The Clothesline Inquisition. In an era of rising energy costs and environmental consciousness, air-drying your clothes is a logical, free, and green choice. But in the parallel universe of the HOA, it is a visual crime. The sight of your personal garments, your laundry, fluttering in the breeze, is seen as unsightly, déclassé, and strictly forbidden. They would genuinely rather you waste electricity running your dryer for 2 hours than subject your neighbors to the abject horror of seeing your freshly laundered socks. This specific brand of nonsense became so widespread that some states had to pass right-to-dry laws just to fight back. 40. The Bureaucracy of Hospitality. Your guest's car must be registered with the state. Okay, not the state, but it might as well be. If you have a friend staying over for more than one night, many HOAs require you to register their vehicle, make, model, and license plate with the board or management company. It turns a simple act of hospitality into a bureaucratic chore. Your college friend's 2012 Honda Civic is treated with the same level of suspicion as a foreign agent, requiring official clearance just to be parked in your own driveway overnight. Welcome to our home. Please fill out this paperwork. 41. The Aquatic Menace. That inflatable pool you bought to survive a brutal summer heat wave? It's a temporary structure, and temporary structures are the enemy. The rules often state that any pool not built permanently into the ground is a violation, regardless of its size. The logic is a tangled mess of liability concerns, and more importantly, aesthetic purity. The result is that you and your kids are left to swelter, all because a large plastic tub of water might offend the visual harmony of the neighborhood. It's a clear message: suffer, but do it uniformly. 42. The Festive Spirit Suppression Act. Your inflatable Santa? He's on a very short leash. The HOA doesn't just regulate the type of holiday decorations. It micromanages their exact window of existence. Your festive cheer is permitted to appear no earlier than the Friday after Thanksgiving. It must then be deflated, boxed, and vanquished by the first week of January. Leave your twinkling lights up a day too long, perhaps because you were, busy, and your new year will begin with a threatening letter. It's the spirit of the season, as interpreted by a parking enforcement officer. 43. The Wreath Hanger Heresy. You thought a simple, festive wreath was a safe bet for holiday decor? Wrong. You've fallen right into their trap. Some HOAs ban the use of over-the-door wreath hangers. The claim? That the simple metal hook might scratch the paint on the community-owned doors, in condos, or simply violate the aesthetic code of identical, unadorned surfaces. Instead, you're instructed to use a suction cup or an adhesive hook, which inevitably fails in the cold winter weather, sending your $50 festive decoration crashing to the ground at 3 a.m. 44. The Curse of the Commercial Vehicle. Behold, an $80,000 luxury pickup truck parked in the driveway. It's a gleaming symbol of success. Now, behold the exact same truck, but with a small, tasteful company logo on the door. Suddenly, it is no longer a status symbol. It is an industrial waste site. Numerous HOAs explicitly ban commercial vehicles from being parked in view overnight. This creates the absurd theater of contractors and small business owners having to hide the very tools of their trade. The message is crystal clear. We welcome your money, but we absolutely do not want any visual reminder of how you earn it. 45. The Precision Parking Gauntlet. This is the absolute peak of residential micromanagement. The rule isn't just park in your driveway. The rule is that your vehicle must be parked with its tires no less than 6 inches from the grass and no more than 12 inches from the garage door. This forces you to perform a precision parking maneuver every single time you come home. It creates a daily, low-stakes geometry test that you never asked to take and will definitely be graded on. The dreaded photo violation of your slightly crooked Toyota is only a clipboard click away. 46. The Crime of Self-Reliance. Got a flat tire? Want to change your own oil? Need to swap out a dead battery in your own driveway? Think again. Many HOAs outlaw all visible vehicle maintenance. They call it unsightly and treat a simple repair as if you were operating an unlicensed chop shop. So what should have been a 5-minute fix, the battery, or a valuable skill to teach your kid, the oil change, turns into an expensive tow or a mandatory service call. Nothing is uglier to the HOA than a homeowner who knows how to use a wrench. 47. The aesthetic inspection of your patio. Your backyard is supposed to be your private escape, but not so fast. The HOA extends its reach over your fence with rules dictating the material, color, and even style of your patio furniture. That comfortable wicker set you love? It might be banned in favor of a specific, pre-approved type of wrought iron. That bright blue umbrella you bought to match your cushions? Not on the approved color list. Your backyard is no longer your sanctuary. It's a showroom you have to live in, curated by a committee you didn't hire. 48. The Gutter Cleaning Racket. You notice your gutters are full of leaves in October. Being a responsible homeowner, you get on a ladder and clean them out. Good job. But then, in November, you get a letter. The HOA has hired a preferred vendor to do a mandatory community-wide gutter cleaning. You will be billed for your share of the cost, often $100 or more, regardless of the fact that you already did it. Your proactive maintenance is completely irrelevant. You will pay for the service, whether you need it or not. It's not maintenance. It's a non-negotiable subscription service. 49. The Great Drought Catch-22. This is the ultimate, inescapable trap. The city, county, or state has enacted emergency water restrictions due to a severe drought. You are legally forbidden from watering your lawn, and neighbors can report you to the water authority for it. But the HOA rules, written in a different decade and a different reality, state that a brown dormant lawn is a failure to maintain and a clear violation. You are now caught between two opposing authorities. You will receive fines from the city if you do water and fines from the HOA if you don't. It's a perfect bureaucratic nightmare. 50. The No Dirt Allowed Parking Policy. This is real, and it's the perfect summary of the HOA mindset. Some high-end, high-strung associations prohibit parking vehicles with visible dirt in the driveway. One rainstorm, one drive down a gravel road, one muddy puddle, and suddenly your car is a public eyesore, a violation of community standards. In their eyes, your driveway isn't a functional place for parking your mode of transport. It is a pedestal. And your car is not a tool. It is a sculpture. And it must be maintained at showroom perfection levels at all times, or be hidden away in the garage like a shameful secret. The final verdict. So there it is, 50 dispatches from the front lines of the quiet, suburban war on individuality. But this isn't just a collection of funny anecdotes. It's a snapshot of a deeper, stranger impulse in the American psyche. The Homeowners Association is a uniquely American invention, a private, parallel government you voluntarily pay to strip you of your own property rights. It's born from a toxic cocktail of two conflicting national desires. The rugged individualists dream of owning a piece of land, and the Puritans' burning, obsessive, unholy need to police his neighbor's behavior. We buy a home, the one place on earth that's supposed to be ours, and then immediately sign a 200-page contract handing over control of that home's appearance to a committee. A committee often comprised of the last people on earth you'd want making aesthetic decisions. People who genuinely believe beige is a personality. People who find a red door threatening. It all comes down to one fundamental divide. On one side, you have the people who see a neighbor's slightly too tall grass or a non-regulation mailbox and feel a genuine physical itch. a deep-seated anxiety that order is collapsing. To them, these absurd, petty rules are the only things standing between civilization and total, chaotic, pink flamingo and windchime anarchy. They see the bylaws not as a prison, but as a fortress that protects the one thing they truly worship, their property values. And on the other side, you have the people who believe that what your neighbor does with their own damn flower bed is frankly nobody's business. That freedom, even the freedom to be a little tacky, to hang a clothesline, to plant a tomato, is worth more than a forced, sterile, and joyless uniformity. So, here's the real question we're left with. Are homeowners associations the heroic defenders of a civilized society, or are they just the last refuge for petty tyrants who couldn't get elected to anything else? The comments are open. Take a side.